Welcome to English Express, the podcast for travelers and English learners. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Ethan. Today, we're tackling a big one. Driving in America for beginners. Renting cars and U.S. roads explained.
That's right. The idea of a great American road trip is so iconic, but getting behind the wheel in a new country can feel a little intimidating.
Totally. But we're here to break it all down, from renting a car to understanding the rules of the road. By the end of this episode, you'll feel much more confident.
Okay, so let's start with the very first question everyone asks. Ethan, can tourists even drive in the USA with their license from home?
Great question. And the answer is, for most people, yes. If you're a tourist on a short visit, your foreign driving license is usually valid.
Okay, that's a relief.
Yeah, especially if your license is in English. If it's not, that's where things can get a little more complicated.
Right, which brings us to the famous IDP, or International Driving Permit. Do you really need one?
So, an IDP isn't a license on its own. It's basically an official translation of your license into 10 different languages.
A translation. That makes sense.
Exactly. While not every state legally requires it, many car rental companies do, especially if your home license isn't in English. My advice? It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. They're usually easy to get in your home country before you travel.
Good tip. So you've got your license and your IDP. Now it's time to actually rent a car. How does that work?
It's pretty straightforward, but there are some key things to know. First, you'll almost always need a credit card.
A credit card, not a debit card?
Right. They use it for the security deposit. Second, the minimum age to rent is usually 21, but the real magic number is 25.
Ah, the under 25 fee. I remember that. It's a huge extra charge for younger drivers, right?
A huge one. It can sometimes double the cost of the rental. So if you're under 25, be sure to budget for that.
And what about insurance? It can be so confusing with all the acronyms.
It really can. The two main ones you'll see are CDW, which is collision damage waiver, and liability.
Okay, what do they mean in simple terms?
CDW covers damage to the rental car itself. Liability covers damage you might cause to other people or their property.
Right.
Some travel insurance or premium credit cards include rental car insurance, so check that first. But if you're not covered, it's really important to purchase it from the rental company. Driving without insurance in the US is a very bad idea.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got the car. We're sitting in the driver's seat, which is on the left side of the car. And this is the single most important rule to remember.
Drive on the right side of the road.
Yes, it sounds so simple, but for our listeners from the UK, Australia, Japan, India, this is a huge change.
It is. Everything is flipped. You pass other cars on their left, then you'll make left turns across oncoming traffic.
A good tip I heard is to always keep your body, as the driver, towards the center line of the road. That helps you stay in the correct lane.
That's a great tip. Okay, so now we're on the right side of the road. Let's talk about what road we're on. You'll hear about highways and interstates.
What's the difference?
Interstates are the big, multi-lane highways that connect states. They're marked with a red and blue shield and start with an I, like I-95 on the East Coast. Odd-numbered interstates generally run north-south, and even-numbered ones run east-west.
Oh, that's a cool fact. And other roads like US Route 66?
Those are U.S. highways. They are an older network of roads. They can be just as big, or they can be smaller, two-lane roads that go through towns. They're great for a more scenic drive.
Speaking of rules, there's a big one that surprises many international visitors. Right turn on a red light.
Yes, this is a big one. In most of the U.S., after you come to a complete stop at a red light, you can make a right turn if the way is clear.
If the way is clear, that's the key. You have to stop first, check for cars and pedestrians, and then you can go.
Exactly. The only time you can't do this is if there's a sign that says no turn on red. Always look for that sign.
Okay, let's talk about money. Toll roads. What are they, and how do we pay for them?
A toll road is just a road you have to pay to use. They're common in the Northeast and in Florida, for example. In the old days, you'd stop at a booth and pay with cash.
But now it's mostly electronic, right?
Almost completely. Most cars have a little electronic box on the windshield called a toll tag, like an Easy Pass or SunPass. When you drive through a toll point, it automatically deducts the money.
So what happens with a rental car?
Most rental cars come equipped with a toll tag. The rental company will charge you for the tolls you use, plus a daily service fee. Make sure you ask about that fee. Some areas also let you pay by plate, where they mail a bill to the car's owner, which is the rental company, who then sends it to you with another fee.
Right, those fees can add up. Good to know. Another practical stop is the gas station.
Exactly, and petrol is just gas. The biggest difference for many visitors is that it's almost always self-service.
You have to pump your own gas. Can you walk us through it?
Sure, you pull up to a pump, and you usually have to pay before you pump. You can use a credit card right at the pump.
Okay.
A common problem for international visitors is that the machine will ask for a zip code for your credit card. Your foreign postal code won't work.
So what do you do?
You just walk inside to the cashier and tell them, I'd like to put $40 on pump number 5, for example. You pay them, and then you go back out, pick the nozzle, select the fuel grade, usually the cheapest one, 87 or unleaded, and pump the gas.
That's a great, simple explanation. Now, what about when you get to your destination? Parking.
Parking can be tricky, especially in big cities. You'll see parking garages, which are often the easiest option.
Right.
For street parking, you have to read the signs very carefully. They'll tell you the times you can park and for how long. Many spots use parking meters or you pay through an app on your phone.
And watch out for the color of the curb. Red means no parking, ever. Green is for a limited time, and white or yellow is usually for loading and unloading.
That's a super important tip. A parking ticket is not a souvenir you want to take home.
Definitely not. Okay, we've covered the practical stuff. Let's talk about the fun part, the Great American Road Trip. The US is huge, and I don't think people always realize the scale.
Not at all. Driving from New York City to Los Angeles takes about 4 to 5 days of solid driving. It's like driving from Lisbon, Portugal to Moscow, Russia.
Wow, so planning is key. And for navigation, your phone is your best friend.
Absolutely. Apps like Google Maps or Waze are essential. A great tip is to download the maps for the area you'll be in for offline use.
Offline use. Why is that so important?
Because in many rural areas, especially in the big national parks out west, you will have zero cell phone service. No service means no maps, unless you've saved them beforehand.
That is a life-saving tip. Okay, let's wrap up with a few final, crucial safety tips for first-time drivers in America.
Number 1. Speed limits are not suggestions. They are strictly enforced, especially in small towns. Obey the signs.
Right. Number 2. Using your phone while driving is illegal in most places and just very dangerous. Put it away.
Definitely. And finally, what do you do if you see police car lights flashing behind you?
This can be really scary for anyone, but especially a visitor. The procedure is to signal and pull over to the right side of the road as safely and quickly as you can.
And then what?
You turn off the engine, stay in your car, and place both of your hands on the steering wheel where the officer can see them. Don't go searching for your documents until they ask for them. Just wait for the officer to approach you.
That's perfect advice. It shows the officer that you're cooperative and not a threat.
Exactly. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today, from licenses to road trips.
We really have. I hope this makes the idea of driving in the US a lot less stressful and a lot more exciting for our listeners.
Me too. The freedom of having a car can completely transform your American vacation. Thanks for listening to English Express.
Happy and safe travels. We'll see you next time. Subscribe for more at Consult Link AI Studio channel.